go back in time to witness what brought all these Tamils to come pouring out in front of parliaments and government embassies around the world. This is what happened in Sri Lanka in the final stages of conflicts, where people of the land became refugees in their own country. Let's go back to where it all began. First Lemuria, then Kumarikandam, and now Sri Lanka. There were two ethnicities in Sri Lanka, the Iyakars and the Nagas. Vijayan, due to his wrongdoings, was casted away with 700 men, where he landed ashore in Sri Lanka and married the Iyakar queen Kuvani. He then killed all the Iyakars, chasing his children along with the queen to the jungle. Helping the Tamil kings of Sri Lanka build Hindu temples, he maintained a good relationship with them. He then wedded the daughter of the Nagar king and ruled Mount Kadira. BC 247 to 207, Devanambiyadhisan, 19th king after Vijayan. During his ruling days, Buddha came to Sri Lanka 3 times. Buddha, who was born into Nagar and was Hindu, hated the ideas of killing animals for sacrificial purpose. He tried to change the views of people and started creating followers of his beliefs. Ashoka king followed his path and creating a new religion, Buddhism, and spreading it. Sing Elu came as Sinhala language. The Dravidas spoke Tamil. The people of Vali descent who spoke Elu separated from Dravidas and spoke Sinhala language. From BC 145 to BC 101, Tamil king Ellalan ruled the lands for 44 years. A Sinhala king Tuttagamani, who despised his ruling, waged a war with Ellalan with troop of 500 monks and his mother Vikramadevi, as it's written in Mahavamsam, the holy book of the Sinhala people. AC 140, Ptolemy, the geographer, drew a map and called it Sarguge, had many of the areas marked with Tamil names. Even after 400 years of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, he only mapped Hindu temples and Tamil areas with Tamil names. AC 1000, Hindu areas were transformed into Buddhist temple. AC 1215 to AC 1619. 19 kings ruled the Tamil kingdoms. AC 1505, Portuguese came to Sri Lanka seeking trades. AC 1518, Portuguese they captured Kota kingdom. Then they tried to capture Jaffna, where Sigurasasegran, the first Sanglian king, defeated the Portuguese. AC 1619, the Portuguese once again were defeated by the second Sanglian king, who then sought help and joined hands with Singhalese and capturing the second Sanglian king while he was praying at the temple. Thereafter, the Dutch came to rule, followed by British. During the British rule, the Vandaravanian king of Kandy and Vani resisted the British. He was then betrayed by Kakaivanian in 1811. Narendra Singh came to power later on. After his death, Kirti Sri Rajasinghan took power. The Dutch placed him in power and they came to realize that there were 2 ethnics living in this country and 2 separate countries. So they divided how the taxations worked. At the 18th century, British took over Sri Lanka. 1806, Alexander Johnson, Chief of Justice. In 1807, November 4th, he wrote a manuscript to Sir Thomas Mifflin. It stated that his study of Sri Lanka in 11 days showed Puttalam, Jaffna, Trinco, Batticaloa, northwest Puttalam to southwest Konbukand River were Tamil's land, and from Tethuru River to Kumanai River were Sinhalese land. 1839, all the kingdoms came under one ruling after the British captured Sri Lanka. 1945, G.G. Ponnambalam fought for Tamil's right. 1948, February, Sri Lanka gets its freedom from British ruling. The government was handed down to the Sinhalese government. Sri Lankan government imposed laws against the Tamils and limiting the number of parliament participants at the government. G.G. Ponnambalam went along with the government to limit Tamils' participation in the government, and Thandai Selva formed Tamil Congress. 1957, Bandaranaike came forward to give ruling rights to Tamils, and it was rejected by the monks and Sinhalese separatists. 1965, Dudley Senanayakam ruling days took away even the smallest power Tamils had in the parliament. 1972, Sri Lanka became Republic country formed as a socialist country. From 1956, start to every 4 to 5 years, when Tamils asked for their rights, there were chaos and riots where many Tamils were killed without any reason. Tamils were displaced and Sinhalese families were placed in Tamil areas. Tamils became minority. 1956, Bandar Naika makes Sinhalese as official language and Tamil as minority language.
Well, when our country became independent, naturally the question arose of national language superseding English as the official language of the country. Sinhalese we decided upon as the official language because 70% of the people of Ceylon are Sinhalese. At the same time, we naturally realized that the Tamil minority had a language that was also old, a very rich language in literature, so on. And therefore we decided also to give a reasonable use to the Tamil language as the language of a national minority.
Because of his rules and laws, Tamils lost their work. Tamils were forced to learn Sinhalese language. All government letters started coming in Sinhalese language from the government, and the Tamils who couldn't understand the language suffered a lot. 1972, limitation of Tamil students studying in post-secondary were put in place and only certain percentage were allowed to study further education. Without work and higher education, Tamil youth feared for the future, thought about what they can do. Tamil leaders and Tamil youths who saw no other options than to rebel against the government took force in their hands and fought back with the government. Sinhalese government hated the idea of Tamils rebelling, so they started to bomb temples and schools, killing the Tamils including the children. 1983, stores were burnt, people burned alive road to road, schools and libraries burned to rubble. Thereafter, the civil war started with the LTT rebels and the government forces. Finally, in the last conflicts in Vanni, where thousands were cornered into so-called no-fire zone, where children and elderly and the wounded couldn't escape the death trap. People fled to see no safe place stay and were bombed and shelled down by Sri Lankan soldiers. Houses, shelters, temples, churches, medical facilities, hospitals stood no chance for mercy as they were crumbled down to dirt with bodies buried with it. No one stood a chance. Women were raped, children abused and tortured, and displaced away from families, men tortured, raped, and killed. President Rajapaksa is not the first president to start this ethnic cleansing of Tamils. It started way before his ruling, and Tamils are still waiting for a day where they can have equal rights and get back what was theirs before.